Another beautiful night in the Three Rivers city of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Welcome to Game 2 of this three-game set between the Rockies and the Pirates as this road trip for Colorado continues. They took 2 of 3 down in Atlanta, Georgia. Lost last night to the Pirates 5-3 as the Pirates improved to 29 games over 500. Back upstairs with Jeff Hewson. I'm Drew Goodman. The Pirates doing their thing, getting ready to go. Josh Harrison and
it's a different dance every night.
Yeah,
it's not choreographed.
Andrew McCutcheon and the fellas on the right having fun. And
who's that on the drum with the bat?
That's Morse. Yeah, Michael Morse. When you're 29 games north of 500, you do have a lot of fun. Charlie Blackmon's going to lead things off for the Rockies. Now, a few moments ago, they honored the players from the 1960 World Series championship team. And we were talking about Bill Mazeroski just a couple of moments ago. Bill Mazeroski is in the house tonight. Roberto Clemente's 2 sons, there they are, and they got a loud ovation. You know, Dick Groat, former MVP. There's Mazeroski. You know, Vernon Law is here, and there was another member here, and I'm looking at you because we're enjoying this and applauding for the surviving members of that 60 championship team, and all of a sudden your jaws dropped, and I'm looking at you. Bob Oldis, who was on that team, was introduced, and I'll be very honest with everybody, I didn't know who Bob Oldis was, and you turned to me and you said, he signed me.
That's the scout that signed me, and I haven't seen Bob in I don't know how many years, and it was such a joy just to be able to look out on the field, and I kind of forgot that he was part of that team. But I knew what he meant to my career, just taking a chance on a kid from Sedona, Arizona.
Yeah, and that story, again, you were playing in the NBC, National Baseball Congress Championships in Wichita, and it was after your senior year in Wyoming. You were not drafted, surprisingly, and he offered you an opportunity.
$1,500 in a plane ticket and said, do the best you can.
And you held out for $1,700. Good for you.
I'd have taken $100.
Yeah, well, you got to find Mr. Oldis before the end of the evening. All right, let's get to the business of baseball tonight. Charlie Blackmon will naturally lead things off for the Rockies. 5 times this year he's led off a ball game with a home run. Jose Reyes is behind him. Here's the batting order for Walt, presented each night by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Cargo, he hit the home run last night to tie the game at 3, his 31st of the year. Jose Reyes, a 2-run home run earlier in the ball game. Arenado will bat 4th, then DJ LeMahieu. Ben Paulson is in there against the left. DJ Happ, Nick Hundley, Brandon Barnes, and Chris Russet. So it is a couple of southpaws tonight. Jay Happ making his 5th start since coming from Seattle. The first one just so-so. The last 3 have been lights out.
Yeah, 17 and a third in his last 3 starts. 1 earned run. Has a ton of strikeouts during that time, 16 to be exact. The slider usage, what it was Seattle, not very much. He's used it a lot more here with the Pirates, especially with 2 strikes.
And he's still got a very good arm. It's amazing. Time flies. Jay Happ's 32 years of age, and you and I remember when he was a prized rookie coming up with the Philadelphia Phillies when they were as good as any team in baseball, and the Rockies faced him twice in the postseason. In fact, Jay Happ pitched in the divisional series, started a game in 2009 against the Rockies. Colorado got after him pretty quickly, scored 3 runs off him on 6 hits in 3 innings, and Charlie Manuel yanked him.
And that was the last time Colorado has seen Jay Happ. He's getting bounced around since then, but he's made a nice little living doing what he's been doing. Didn't work out so well in Seattle, but now here.
And this ball's in the air to shallow right. Coming on is Polanco, the star from last night for Pittsburgh. And there's 1 out. Let's take a look at the Pirates defensively. They had 2 outfield assists last night. Polanco had them both. He had an extraordinary game. Josh Harrison getting the start in left field tonight. He can play virtually everywhere. McCutcheon naturally is at center. Ramirez at 3rd. Jung-Ho Kang is at shortstop tonight. Walker and Alvarez again on the right side. And Francisco Cervelli has the gear on. 2nd night in a row. And the first pitch to Jose Reyes is in there for a strike. Jose out in front on a changeup and lined one off the foul pole yesterday, batting from the right side to give the Rockies their first 2 runs of the game, and it tied it up at 2. Polanco's going to handle this again, and it's 2 outs.
Polanco last night starred involved early tonight. Polanco did everything: base hits, stolen bases, throwing out runners.
You know, sometimes when guys wear the the high socks, it's misleading, and maybe even on television. This is a big kid, and he can really throw. This was the play of the game defensively. In fact, the 2 right fielders really made great plays last night, because Cargo had the gorgeous catch to preserve a tie when it was 3-3 with the bases loaded.
They said that throw last night, by the time he released it to win home, it was 207 feet. And at arm speed, you could see it there, 92.2 miles per hour.
Well, that's something.
Can you imagine if you put him on the hill, what would happen?
He'd throw really hard. So I was starting to say, you don't realize how big he is. He's 6'5", about 230. He put on some good weight in the offseason. It was the first time he hadn't played winter ball, and the Pirates got him in the weight room and got him bigger.
He's still a pup.
He's a pup, and he's a budding big-time star, because he can hit for power. We know what kind of defense he can play.
These 2 guys, you talk about him, Carlos last night, that was I can do something, I'll try to outdo you, then I'll outdo you. It was 2 of the best going at it. That was fun to watch.
Absolutely. It's amazing to see right fielders stand out the way these 2 guys can and did last night. And shortstop's a little bit easier when you're in the middle of things, but these guys are extraordinary talents. Here's the 1-2 on Cargo, and that's fouled off. Shift is on for the Pirates. They shift a ton. The only team that shifts more now in the National League by 2015 statistics, the Colorado Rockies. It's 2-2 on Cargo. Well, Patrick Saunders and Thomas Harding from MLB.com, we were having a conversation with them over dinner tonight, and they tweeted out what we were discussing, the fact that Cargo hit 5 balls in batting practice in the Allegheny River.
Impressive. Each one going further than the last. And he had one that hit off a sign out there. It would have been 6. It would have been 6.
So all those folks who pull up in the boats and are out there in kayaks put a hard hat on when he's taking BP. He hit one, we told you yesterday. There's Patrick on the left and Tomas on the right. He hit one over the batter's eye. And this ball's on the ground to Ramos. Is that Gunn or Ramirez? That is Ramirez. Okay. Ramirez in the shift. So it's a 1-2-3 start for Jay Happ. The first inning, the Rockies and Pirates from PNC Park. And Gregory Polanco, who we've been bragging on, will lead things off for the Buccos tonight. He's at 270 after producing 3 hits last night, 7 home runs and 40 driven in. Here's Clint Hurdle's Southwest batting order. Book your local now at southwest.com. Josh Harrison will bat second, then McCutchen, Ramirez. Gung will bat fifth. Last night, couple hits, couple ribbies. Francisco Cervelli at 307. Pedro Alvarez has 21 home runs, batting 7th. Neil Walker has 13 home runs, and he'll bat 8th in Clint's lineup this evening. Chris Russin was terrific 2 starts ago. A complete game shutout of the Padres at Coors Field. And then in his last start, the antithesis of what he did against the Padres. He really struggled against the Mets.
Well, he became just the second pitcher in the last 70 years to allow at least 11 earned runs following a shutout. So that tells you how bad it was. So you have that short-term memory. Put it out of there. Think back to 2 starts ago.
Well, he's a pretty tough guy mentally. I think he'll bounce back just fine, and he gets a first pitch out on this fly ball to Charlie Blackmon. So Polanco's retired.
Chris Rawson 2 starts ago against the Padres, just dancing with the fastball in and out, using all kinds of cutters, changeups, whatever it was working. And the great thing about this is just allowing him to go out there in that 9th inning, try to lock it down, do something that he had never done before, and he comes through, gets big hugs from everybody, and well deserved.
Yeah, he was just outstanding. 1 pitch, 1 out. Josh Harrison steps up, and that looked pretty good, but called inside. Home plate umpire is Corey Blazer out of Pomona High School. Corey's a good young umpire. Jeff Nelson, the crew chiefs at first. Laz Diaz at second, and Chris Caccione from Salida, Colorado, is at third base. 1 ball, 1 strike. You look at Corey. And Josh Harrison was an all-star last year. And what a valuable player to have at your disposal for Clint, because he carries like 8 gloves with him wherever he goes.
And he's not afraid to use all of them. Well, you want me at third base, Skip? I'll play third. You want me in the outfield? I'll do that.
He's going to throw out a base hit here. He had a big pinch single last night, the game-winning hit actually. The pinch single to put the Pirates in the 8th inning up 4-3. They would tack on a run behind his base hit. 1 out, 1 on, and Andrew McCutchen coming up as we glance at the Rockies defensively tonight. Barnes, Blackmon, and Cargo in the outfield. Arenado and Reyes on the left side. DJ along with Ben Paulson on the right side, and Nick Hundley is behind the plate. You know who Josh Harrison is? I don't want to call it a modern day version, because this guy, is still in the league or has been until very recently. Sean Figgins. Remember how valuable Sean Figgins was to the Angels?
Yeah, and you could hit him anywhere in the lineup you needed to. You put him in for defense. You didn't have to worry about that late in the game. For Josh Harrison, he had missed a bunch of time. He had an injured thumb. He had to have surgery on. Went for a headfirst dive into second base, and his thumb got tucked underneath and tore some ligaments.
Josh has 9 stolen bases. Bounces out there about 11.5 feet or so. The average lead is just under 12 feet in Major League Baseball. And I know you were a step, slide guy to get you to 12 feet. That was, you've told me this before, that was your marking point.
Because I knew I could do it in my sleep. I could do it with my eyes closed. I didn't want to have to worry about a cut in the grass, or some guys will sit there and say, well, I need to get way out to that cut in the grass. No, if that cut in the grass might be different. It might be at 15 feet. Not every ballpark's the same.
Yeah, and certainly here it is farther out in Pittsburgh than it is in a number of other parks. You go way out there, you're getting picked off.
You're 20 feet out.
Love when the crowd boos on a pickoff.
Like he's never going to throw over. Yeah, how dare you?
How dare you check on one of our runners? 0-2 on McCutchen at the plate. And just a little closer.
Trying to give the fake that he was going to steal and almost got caught leaning the wrong way. There's a little, oh, I'm going, but I'm not really. That's when you, as a pitcher, you try to get a base runner. That's one when the feet come together. That's the other time you'll see pitchers throw over.
Outside on McCutchen, 1-2. Andrew threw out a couple of hits last night. He has multi-hit games in 5 of his last 6 outings, 11 for 22. And this ball sharply hit the base hit. Harrison around third. He's going to go first to third on the single by McCutchen.
Jose Reyes gets a good first step on this, but the ball was hit too hard by McCutchen. The top spin past the dive, and then Harrison motoring to third. And now it brings up a sticky situation. I've always thought that Aramis Ramirez is one of those hitters that gets better with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, I would agree with you. And his long career and the number of runs he's driven in would support that contention.
And he'll look to hit it the other way. It's not, oh, I'm going to try to pull it into the stands or pull it for a sac fly to left field. It might happen, but he looks to drive the ball to right center field.
1 out, runners at first and third. He announced in spring training, then with Milwaukee, that this would be his final year. So he has returned back to where it all began. He came up as a 19-year-old with the Pirates. Went from the Pirates to the Cubs, then on to Milwaukee. And that's fouled off. So quickly a 2-strike count on Ramirez. Remember Ron Renick, who's no longer the manager of Milwaukee, relieved of his duties earlier this year. But remember he told us that Aramis has been just fabulous in the clubhouse. And Clint told us that same thing. And he's only been in this Pirate clubhouse for about 3 weeks or so, 3 or 4 weeks. He said he's been off the charts great as a leader in the clubhouse.
Always been that way. There's never been a discrepancy or worry about him there. I remember 2 years ago when he got off to that awful start in Milwaukee. I mean, awful. He went in and apologized to Ron Renick. Said, I'm sorry that I'm playing so bad. When was the last time you heard a player say that?
Yeah, that happens every day.
But he did. He went in there, and that tells you a little bit about him as a player.
Russin right now would like to get a ground ball and get out of this situation. First and third with 1 out. I've always felt, unless you really have a nasty arsenal, a whiff pitch, a swing and miss pitch, it's so much easier to get to 2 strikes than it is to put a guy away. Saw him quickly get to 2 strikes with McCutchen. He got to 0-2 on Ramirez. Now it's 2-2. And this ball's lifted to deep left field, way back, and gone. 3-run home run, Aramis Ramirez. And the Pirates start fast once again. Got a run off John Gray in the first inning last night. And for Chris Russin, he must be feeling deja vu.
Second home run in the Pirates uniform for Ramirez's 20th RBI. We were talking about how he's driven in a lot of big runs in his career. The 2-2 tried to cut a fastball in. He just pulls the hands in, he opens the hips, and hit it over the 383 sign in left center.
Well, to your point, he's now driven in 20 runs in just 29 games for the Pirates. When you look back at all the trades that are made around the deadline for teams that are trying to bolster their roster for a run in that season. Well, right now, you look at all the guys the Pirates have acquired. We showed you last night, we may throw that graphic up again in a moment, of the guys that the Pirates have picked up, Neil Huntington and his staff. Every one of them have performed well.
Well, they don't want to be that odd man out.
It doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes you go and get a guy and it looks good on paper, but he doesn't perform.
But even Joe Blanton, I mean, Joe's 3-0. He had some good years starting when he was with Philadelphia. I remember that, but you know, now he's been more of a bullpen guy. Michael Morris came into the game last night, had a walk.
They have a versatile bench, a strong bench. 2-2 on Jung-Ho Kang. And he strikes out. 2 gone. That'll bring up Francisco Cervelli. Rockies fans, we invite you every night to join in on the conversation. Send us your thoughts, photos via Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. And make sure you include the hashtag Toyota Talk.
Playing the song again, Drew.
Yeah, now see the game sometimes I didn't notice until his third at bat. What a beautiful thing. It's amore. Cervelli at 309 when he's behind the plate, 307 overall. The 309 batting average is the best among any catcher in baseball. And it's interesting because this guy was a lifetime backup. They've had good success going and getting catchers lately. Some people thought Russell Martin was really on the back end of things. He comes to Pittsburgh and he's like reinvigorated, so much so that he gets a big deal with Toronto.
4-year deal with Toronto.
Huge deal. But you remember when he went to Pittsburgh, you thought, well, what's he have left?
Everybody thought he was on the 18th fairway.
Right, and he performed very well for Clint.
Well, their other backup here, Chris Stewart, same thing. I mean, he's hitting in the 270s this year.
Yeah, their average as catchers is #1 in baseball. The Rockies, with Nick Hundley and Mike McHenry, #2 in batting average. Well, a quick start against Chris Russin for the Pirates. Aramis Ramirez hits a 3-run home run. Sports is brought to you by your hometown Toyota stores. Let's go places. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Well, the Rockies with work to do at the top of the second. They find themselves down 3-0 on the home run by Aramis Ramirez. That is one way to catch a ball game. say it every time we come here, especially when you have the weather we've had last 48 hours. Pittsburgh, 72 actually, because the Rockies had a full day off here on Thursday. This is one of the prettiest settings in the game to watch Major League Baseball, and then just in between pitches or half innings to glance out, look at downtown Pittsburgh across the Roberto Clemente Bridge. That's the one in the foreground. The Allegheny River busy on the weekend.
The skyline backing it up.
Arenado fouls off that pitch. It's 0-2.
Really revitalized downtown Pittsburgh too.
Yeah, and happy to report so many Midwestern cities had to reinvent themselves. The economic downturn, but Pittsburgh is really healthy. It's doing well. This ball's in the air down the right field line. Polanco is going to have a play. And Arenado's retired. See the tweet from the Rockies Twitter account. It's during batting practice. That's a strike on LeMahieu. DJ had a double last night. It was the first hit of the ball game for the Rockies. That came in the third inning. The next hit was a two-run home run by Jose Reyes to tie it up. Rockies ended up with just 5 hits last night. 2 home runs, one by Reyes, one by Carga. Francisco Liriano, the starter last night. It's now 11 straight ball games that Liriano has started, and the Pirates have not lost. 11-0. The winning pitcher last night was Tony Watson, with Mark Melancon getting his major league leading 42nd save. That pitch is inside. 2-2. This is amazing. Pittsburgh's relievers, listen to this, folks, have won 19 straight decisions. The last time a Pittsburgh reliever lost was June 25th. Now, according to Elias, that's the longest streak by any major league bullpen since 1909.
Well, that tells me a couple things. They've been doing real well. Oh, that was a check swing. They called it a strike. I don't think DJ win. We'll get back to that in a minute. I don't like a DJ. This will give you a better look. Well, I didn't think he went all the way. But it wasn't up to me. It was up to Jeff Nelson, and he said he did.
Ben Paulson swings and misses.
To get back to those relievers for a minute, it also tells you what kind of baseball that the Pirates are playing. 29 games over 500, because they're getting a lot of those hits late when they need them to give those relievers a chance to go out there and get the W.
Yeah, 1909 the last time, and that's when the Pirates, the World Series champion Pirates of 1909, had 22 straight winning decisions. Same team. This ball's knocked to deep right field, way back off the wall, and yep. Listen, Ben was watching last night. The crowd really appreciates that. It's a wall single for Paulson. Nick Hundley got thrown out last night when he hit one off the top of that wall, and Polanco fired to short to Mercer, who then got Nick trying to scramble back to first.
It reminds me of the wall in Fenway, where it's hit so hard sometimes it'll come off there, and you can only get a single. And this was Ben's only option. Running hard out of the box, and then shuts it down wisely, because Polanco's played that wall like he's been playing it for 12, 15 years.
So with 2 outs, Nick Hundley at the plate. Nick fouls that one off. The Pirates also have won a major league record 17 straight games that were decided by the bullpens. Again, that's games in which neither team's starting pitcher was involved in the decision. Back up the middle, and an easy play for Jung as he flips to Walker. Rockies get a base hit from Paulson, nothing else. Middle of 2-3-0 Bucks.
And welcome back to Pittsburgh. There is the Rockies starter Chris Russin, allowed a 3-run homer to Aramis Ramirez in the first inning, out for the bottom of the second. In that first inning, he faced 6 batters, and he had first pitch strikes to 5 of the 6, and that's what he told me he wanted to do in this game, coming off a bad start in his last outing.
I gotta, attack them. I can't let them see what I have and get comfortable, because like I said, I'm not a powerful guy, so I gotta, pitch to weak contact. I don't strike a lot of people out, so attacking and, putting them on their heels is what I need to do.
And Drew and Jeff were saying in the first inning, he did get ahead in the count. He just gave up that long ball, one bad pitch, but he's kind of doing what he wants. That's his game plan, guys.
Well, it is, Mark, and that's what he's going to have to do, because when you don't have overpowering stuff, you've got to pitch to contact. You can't allow any freebies out there, and you have to work the corners. You have to shave the corners.
Russin facing Pedro Alvarez and gets ahead with a strike. Alvarez 0 for 3 last night, and he'll start 0 for 1 in this game. Paulson flips to Russin, 1 out.
Schedule a group outing at Coors Field. Get discounts and scoreboard recognition when you bring your group of 25 or more. So get your group on. Go 303 Rockies for more information.
Neil Walker will step up from the right side. And that's on the outside corner for a strike. Off-speed misses on Neal, 1-1. Pirates have now won 6 straight against the Rockies at home. And they're 8-2 their last 10 ball games at home against Colorado. There's a good changeup. We were talking with Clint about his time with the Rockies and how quickly time goes by. Clint didn't manage any guy that plays for the Rockies, including Carlos Gonzalez. Now, Clint was there the first part of 2009 before he was fired. And Cargo didn't make the club out of spring training. In fact, Cargo said, I was one of the first cuts of spring training. And by the time he came up, talking about Cargo, Clint had been replaced by Jim Tracy.
411 wins for Clint in a Pittsburgh uniform.
Walker fouls this off. Two on Walker, and that's fouled off. Neal is the son of a former big league pitcher, Tom Walker, who threw in the 70s, 72 to 77. He was a catcher in high school, a wide receiver during the fall, and played high school basketball for 3 years. In fact, he was the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Male Athlete of the Year, both his junior year and his senior year in high school. What an athlete. Center field and right center running it down is Charlie Blackmon. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Jay Happ. Hey, it's time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use the hashtag RMDataStrongFan, and you might find yourself in an upcoming game broadcast. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. Well, this guy at the plate was a pretty good athlete also. He's out of the Chicago area. He's a terrific high school basketball player himself. He averaged 22 points a game in high school. Didn't play in college. He went to Northwestern right down the road in Evanston.
Had to study.
He grew up. He went to, yeah, he had to study. He couldn't play 2 sports. He was 3 times a member of the first team All Big Ten team, which was a first for a Northwestern player. Joe Girardi went to Northwestern.
Yes, he did.
One and 2 on Happ. And a weak ground ball. Paulson will cut it off. Over to Russin. Good inning for Chris. 1, 2, 3 in the second. We move on to the 3rd inning. The Rockies trailing 3-0. One for the Rockies. The 8-hole hitter will be Brandon Barnes tonight, who wants tacos. When the Rockies score 7 or more during any ball game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day. Make sure you do it between 4 and 6 in the evening. Here's a Rockies fan. Got his glove ready to go. So Barnes will be first, and then it'll be the pitcher Chris Russin as he swings the bat, as you know.
Talking with Brandon during batting practice, he and DJ, we were trying to come up with a list of all the guys that had hit 4 home runs in a game. And so we were going through the list. There have been 16 guys that have done that.
Yeah, we were talking about it the other day because there was a possibility when Cespedes was doing his thing. So we broke out the list. So it's somewhat fresh. I always start with Willie Mays. He did it. Mike Schmidt did it.
Bob Horner. Shawn
Green did it not all that long ago.
Josh Hamilton. Carlos Delgado.
I think Hamilton was the last to do it. Delgado,
yeah, so they were just wondering. They said, how many of you guys? I'd come up with 5 or 6 off the top of my head, but I had to use the Google to find a way. I didn't have Doug, so I had to.
You had to cheat.
I had to cheat. Look at it on Google. But they were surprised. This is 16. And it's like, yeah. A couple guys in the 1800s, but the first guy in the American League was 1932, I believe.
And Cargo, did he not hit 4 in a row over 2 days?
Believe so. Was it his last 3 at bats and his first at bat the next day, or was it 2 and 2?
I remember. I thought it was 3 and 1. Cargo hit 3 in Cincinnati. That's down the line. Fair ball. Extra bases for Brandon Barnes. You really got to fly with this kid's arm. And Polanco did not have a play on Brandon. So a leadoff double here in the 3rd with the Rockies trailing 3-0.
Fired it down to that right field corner. And the slice on the baseball goes with it, lets it get deep into his swing. And Polanco goes over to get it, but then it kicked off the wall and just dropped down.
Now, ordinarily, this is a bunting situation for a pitcher. He's showing bunt, but it wasn't a real good effort.
Stabbed at it.
Yeah, Russin, again, it's left on left, but Russin swings the bat well enough where, see if Walt puts something on to allow him to swing it and try to move the runner on his own.
I think you lay it down towards third base and make Ramirez field it.
May take it off after those 2 attempts. 0-2. Stu Cole waiting to pass on to Chris, and also Brandon Barnes. What's on? He's waiting from the dugout.
We've said it before. It usually stays on unless you wipe it off, so he doesn't have to give the bunt sign again to give it away.
One and 2.
They did wipe it off. Well, both first and third basemen think it's still on because they're even with the bag.
And back up the middle, a base hit. Russin does that better than bunting. He swings the bat.
Says, you know what? I didn't like my first 2 attempts to try to lay a bunt down. I'm going to have to get a hit. And did he ever? Right back up the gut there by Happ. He had to chuck and duck.
First and third, nobody out. Charlie Blackmon coming up.
Take a look at the arms. I mean, we know what's going on in right field with Polanco. We saw it last night. A very, very strong arm there and very accurate. In left field, Josh Harrison just a tick above average for arm strength, accuracy, but McCutchen, same thing. Very accurate, very strong arm.
Runner takes off on a hit and run, and Russin will have to come back.
You don't see that.
No, that's catching the Pirates by surprise. You don't see a hit and run with the pitcher running. But again, Russell's an athlete.
That's wise on Chris's part to know all the signs, not just the bunt sign, but know the steals and the hit and runs. Because if he wouldn't have been paying attention, he missed that sign. Charlie swings at it, and you have all sorts of problems.
One and one on Blackman. Charlie pinch hit last night and did not get a hit, so that snapped his 11-game hitting streak. One and two.
Hap goes to that slider away from Charlie.
This is going to just be one, and the run will score. Alvarez did a good job getting to the baseball quickly, and he fired a strike to Gunn, but there was no one to return the throw to. And again, Blackman runs well. Watch Hap.
So Hap's late getting over, but also Chris Russin going hard into a slide at Gung at second base.
How about that?
I love it.
It just tells you a lot about Chris Russin. We know he can swing the bat. Then you see him take off, and he breaks up too. I haven't seen a pitcher do that all year.
It caught Gung by surprise. He did not expect that was going to happen because he was flat-footed.
Got an RBI for Charlie. And it got the Rockies, most importantly, on the board. It's 3-1. 51st RBI for Blackman. Jose Reyes at the plate. Charlie's going to get checked on, I'm sure, quite a bit. Blackman with 33 steals, 46 attempts. Watch Russin again.
And he slides to the inside because that's where Gong is, and takes his feet out.
Yeah, well,
see, that is what I'm saying. He didn't think anything was going to happen. Oh, that's a pitcher. He's not going to slide hard into me. Well, yeah, he caught his shins and his foot.
Yeah, he guessed wrong. One strike on Reyes. There goes Charlie, and here's the throw. Not going to get him. Goes into center field. Blackman's up. He's at third base. It'll be a throwing error on Cervelli, his 5th of the year. And now the Rockies can close to within a run with Reyes at the plate and one out.
34 stolen base for Charlie. Threw over a couple times. He takes off, throw tails into the runner. Goes right between his legs, knocks off Gung's glove with the slide in. Neil Walker's trying to dive to keep it from going to the outfield. He misses it.
Gung's having a heck of a time at short this inning.
He said, I got my glove kicked off. I got my shin. Guys spiked into my shin.
Cervelli blocks that. It's a 1-2 count on Reyes. Carr goes on deck. This is where Jose wants to be as scrappy as possible. Find some way to get it in play. Infield's back, plus speed at third.
The two places he cannot hit it is one back to the pitcher or two to the third baseman. Because if he hits it to Alvarez at first, he's not going to throw home. He's just going to jog over to first, take the out there, and the two middle guys are playing deep.
Three and two on Reyes. draws an emergency hack. It's probably a ball. I don't think there was any question it was a ball, but Reyes with a late decision just in case. Wanted to take it out of Corey Blazer's hands.
Rather have that than say, well, I think it's going to be a ball, and then it's called a strike. Yeah, that ball is going to be up. Jose. But I just need to try to foul this one off.
This is lifted to Polanco and right. Here we go again. Here comes Charlie, and he put the brakes on. And look at that. Polanco airmailed the baseball. But you know what? All because of what happened last night. Blackman decided not to go.
It's just reputation. Charlie saw what happened last night. Knows the arm. It was about the same depth.
Yeah, he's moving forward too.
Yeah, he's coming. He's got everything, the momentum, and then he just airmailed it to Jay Happ, who was backing up. But you don't want to run into an out with Cargo coming up. So Charlie, that was predetermined. When he saw where the ball was going, he knew he was going to take 2 or 3 hard steps and stop. You can't really read that one like you can maybe another throw that you've already got your momentum cutting around a base.
And Cargo pops it up to the pitcher Happ, and the Rockies don't cash in Blackman. They do get a run. Barnes scores it after doubling, leading off the inning. It's 3-1.
Pirates as we go to the bottom of the third. There's the riverboat outside the stadium. Earlier today, both Brandon Barnes and Carlos Gonzalez took a trip to the Roberto Clemente Museum. And because we have Toyota Talk, of course, let's show an Instagram photo. There's Cargo at the Clemente Museum enjoying himself. And when I talked to these guys, they were so impressed with the bat that Roberto Clemente used. So I'm going to start with Cargo. I said, what size bat do you use?
34.5, 32. I thought I used a bigger bat. I thought I had the biggest bats in the league until I saw Roberto Clemente's bat this morning. Oh my God. 36, 38. That's unbelievable.
He swings the 36, 38. You know, for me, I had to give it a little kickstart to get it up there. So, you know, I swing a 33.5, you know, which is a lot smaller than most of the guys, but 36, 38 is a joke.
Huey, 36, 38. Come on.
No, I'd have to hook it up to the back of my truck and drag it up to the plate that way.
Those guys are kind of talking too, saying like you
it's
can't
really
swing that
changed
against
though.
Shaw or say like a Chapman.
Yeah, it's changed, though. It used to be a lot of guys that swing heavier bats. I remember Brian Downey was about a 35. But then as it started to get later on in my career, you'd see more guys at 34, 32s, 33 and a half, 31, 32s.
The most common numbers are 34, 32. Sometimes guys will even try to get half ounce out of it, and it's 34, 31 and a half.
Or they'll start at the beginning of the year with a 34, 32, and then come the All-Star break later on in the summer, they'll drop down a half an ounce. And you're thinking, half an ounce, it doesn't make that big a difference. Yeah, it does. Makes a huge difference when you've been playing, 100. Rockies are playing their 127th game tonight.
And you can notice that 1 ounce or half an ounce difference. And I'll tell you, one of the changes Cargo's made, this ball pulled foul by Polanco. One of the changes he's made, he just broke his bat in his last at bat. That's just the third bat he said he's broken in the last couple of months. He used to use maple. He's been using birch, which not as many guys use. Maple, you see a ton of maple. I'd say the majority, wouldn't you agree, Huey, use maple
yes.
now. Ash is still used in some circles.
By the older veteran guys.
Cargo and Justin Morneau use birch now. And he likes, listen, he hit the ball 6 miles last night. We were watching his BP and telling you about it earlier. He just feels like it won't break as easily for him. So he's made the transition to birch.
Used to be your only option was ash. I mean, that's all you had.
This is Torreyes, who's positioned up the middle, and he just did get Polanco.
Boy, he can get down the line.
Yeah, that's a 5-tool player. Birch is generally described as halfway between what ash brings and what maple brings. People like maple because it's such a hard. Substance, or wood, I should say. And ash had some flexibility to it, and they say birch is somewhere in between.
Yeah, I would have liked to have been able to swing a birch bat, but then, like I said, all we had was the ash. But I just like the way it felt coming off the ball coming off the bat with the ash bat. But it used to be you swung a big piece of lumber, and my first spring training in 1986 in the minor leagues, the old grumpy batting coach says you got to swing a 35. It's like, I weigh 170 pounds. I can't swing a 35-ounce bat. But that's what he was telling everybody to swing with.
I just don't know, especially in this day and age where everybody's 95 plus. Hey, you'd be able to get around. You have to really cheat. That's a strike on Harrison. It's 1-2 on the outside corner. 1 out, nobody on. Chris Rustin working here in the bottom of the third. Rockies trailing 3-1.
Lance Johnson, Lance leadoff hitter, used to swing a heavy bat.
Mr. Triple. Good pitch. See you later, Harrison. Harrison was leading before Corey Blazer could call strike 3.
He didn't want to hear it in his ear. So I'll just go ahead and turn around. He's got me. I don't need to see any strikeout demonstration from you, Corey. I'll just walk back to the dugout.
2 gone, and Andrew McCutchen coming up. McCutchen singled and scored in the first inning. With every challenge call, the Subaru Eyesight Review will determine the outcome. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. Walt Weiss, Tommy Runnels. Outside, ball 1. First at bat, Russell got ahead 0-2, and on a 1-2 pitch, McCutchen hit it sharply up the middle for a base hit. 2-0.
Just thought that was a strike on the quick pitch. It should have been, according to the Ford strike zone.
The New York Mets made another deal today. They just acquired the Diamondbacks' former closer, Addison Reed.
You never have enough arms. Also, I heard they put in a waiver claim for Zepsinski.
We saw him not too long ago. 3 balls and a strike on McCutchen. sets up away, and this ball's pulled deep short, and no play for Reyes. That'll be another base hit.
Even with the shift on, he pulled the ball in the hole last night that Jose fielded, made the throw across, so they slide everybody over even more. Jose, in his haste to make the transfer, because he knows he has to. You talk about internal clocks for infielders, when they need to get rid of it. Well, Jose, as he's going to this ball, he knows he has to get rid of it because Kutch is running, and then just doesn't get the grip. And I don't blame you, Jose. You get where he caught that, even with a strong throw, it is going to be very close at first.
Outside ball one.
Back in the first inning, he got a cut fastball. Not too much of a doubt. Ramos Ramirez, he's hit a few of those in his career.
And that's a strike. It's 1-1. Yeah, for Ramirez, that was his 377th home run as a third baseman. And he's 5th on the all-time list. High pop right side. DJ waving his arms.
I think he lost it briefly.
Yeah. Last night he had one go off the heel of his glove, which you absolutely never see. 3-1. Rockies within 2 as we go to the 4th. Rockies will have Nolan Arenado to lead it off in the top of the 4th inning against Jay Happ, one of the trade deadline acquisitions of the Pirates. Veteran left-hander, 32 years of age. And that's pulled foul. 0-1. His best season came in 2009 when he ended up facing the Rockies in the postseason. He went 12-4 with a 2.93 ERA. 35 appearances, 23 starts that year for the Phillies. And another pop-up. This is Neil Walker.
Must have some tail on his fastball, because I'm counting up the number of fly balls. There's been 4 fly balls to right field. Now a pop up to the second baseman. It has that tail on the fastball. You think you're going to be able to pull it, and then you catch it off the end of the bat.
LeMahieu called out on a check swing his first time up outside. That's outside.
That was a 3rd-round pick in 2004 Philadelphia. Dealt to Houston for Roy Oswalt.
Yeah, this is his 5th club now, because he pitched with Houston, as Jeff mentioned. It's also Toronto, Seattle, and now Pittsburgh.
Well, August 31st is Purple Monday. Wear purple, win prizes, and the first 5,000 fans will receive a Purple Monday t-shirt. There's one of the Diamondbacks in town.
2-1 on LeMahieu. 6th in the league in hitting. It's high. Bryce Harper leading at 334. D. Gordon next, 332. Paul Goldschmidt 328. A.J. Pollock at 318. Buster Posey 313. And then DJ. Those are the top 6 at the start of the evening.
Goldschmidt also leading in RBIs now with 96.
And DJ draws a walk. So Ben Paulson will come up. I want to update you on a couple of Rockies that have been down. Kyle Kendrick, who has been out of the rotation with right shoulder inflammation, is going to start game 1 against the Diamondbacks on Tuesday. And then Justin Morneau, who's now in New Britain on a rehab assignment. Last night he was 1 for 2, and tonight he's 1 for 2 with a home run. Last night he hit a single, so good news for Morneau. And I'm sure when the calendar turns to September, if all goes well, we'll see Justin back with the Rockies after a long layoff. Paulson hit one off the scoreboard in right for a long single in the 2nd inning. He takes a strike at 92, and that's about the average fastball for Happ.
Sliders 84, changeups 85, curveball 78. Pretty much what you would think the variations would be.
And another strike. Off the plate. Paulson's 9th among rookies in batting average coming in. 273.
Just the 3rd lefty he's faced this year in a start. Walt giving him the opportunity tonight against Happ.
Yeah, you learn a little bit more about what a guy can do.
As I've always said, in the minor leagues, just because you have one extra guy there or one less guy, you're going to play more against the left-handers. You don't have the chance to platoon in the minor leagues.
Paulson's also 5th in slugging percentage among rookies. About 13 points ahead of Jung Ho Gung coming into tonight. Randall Grichuk of the Cardinals is #1 in slugging among rookies. Chris Bryant just in front of Paulson by 3 points. And that's a strikeout. So that is the 2nd out of the 4th inning. It's the 2nd strikeout for Jay Happ, and it'll bring up Nick Hundley. Hundley grounded to short his first time. check on DJ.
That was just a so-so move from Happ. More of the, I got the sign from the bench, so I've got to throw over.
One on Nick. Inside 1-1.
DJ thought about running, but Happ quickened his delivery.
3-1 the score. The Pirates got a first inning 3-run home run from Aramis Ramirez. Rockies got a run back in the third when Brandon Barnes led off with a double. Russin singled. Charlie Blackmon would bring the run home on an RBI ground out. That's back up the middle. It's off of the pitcher Happ. It'll be a base hit for Hundley. So 2 on for Brandon Barnes.
And once you hit it off the pitcher, you're just hoping that it doesn't careen to somebody else for the put out, like what happened in the Mets game last night. Off the pitcher and then to the first baseman and back to the pitcher for the out. This time that didn't happen, and Nick gets a base hit. It's 2 baseballs that have just had to worry about. That one hit him, and then the other one from Chris Russin that went over his head.
Here's the double.
Nice piece of hitting from Brandon.
Outside. That's a strike at the knees. Barnes had a 3-hit ball game on Wednesday in Atlanta. Swing the bat with more confidence. 2 balls and a strike on Brandon, and that's down 3-1. That may be a little more cautious here, understandably, with the pitcher on deck, but the scouting report, the scouting report says the pitcher can hit, and then he learned firsthand that the pitcher can hit in Chris Russin. But again, it's left on left, and he's not going to throw one down the middle here, you wouldn't think, to Barnes.
Probably a changeup.
It was a slider, and it was a dandy right at the knees. 3-2.
Figured it was going to be something off speed, that he wasn't going to serve up a cookie to Brandon. 3-1.
And this one is fisted to third. Ramirez goes across to Alvarez, and that ends the inning. So the Rockies had a walk and a hit. They'll leave 2 on. Middle of 4. It remains 3-1 Pirates. they went out on the kayaks, they brought some environmentally safe paint with them and painted Root Sports at the bottom of the Allegheny River. I wonder how long that took.
Well, Mike had to hold his breath for a while to go down there to make sure the paint held.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, find the latest Albuquerque Isotopes jerseys, t-shirts, novelties, and much, much more at abqisotopes.com. That's Albuquerque Isotopes, proud AAA affiliate of the Colorado Rockies. We thought they were just lounging out there.
Productive off day for the two of them.
Evidently. Jung Ho Kang batting fifth will lead it off in the fourth. Cervelli and Alvarez after that against Chris Russin. First pitch strike. Breaking ball over. Kang struck out his first time against Russin. Two strikes on Kang and a line drive of the soft variety to short, and Reyes has it one out. Well, now, anytime I hear that song, from now on, I'm going to think of Francisco Cervelli.
Because as soon as he started walking to the plate, you started to break into a grin.
Yeah. There was a Cher movie that song was prominently featured, right? Do you remember that?
No, I don't, honestly. Sorry.
Isn't it Moonstruck?
I got nothing for you. I can't help you.
Once again.
Once again, I can't help you.
This is hit foul. And it's been a while since we've worked Cher into one of our broadcasts. One of my favorite songs growing up, Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves. I take you back.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Two strikes on Francisco Cervelli, of Italian descent, born in Venezuela. Here's the 0-2. Inside 1-2. Came up with the Yankees playing behind Jorge Posada.
Learn a thing or two from playing behind Jorge.
The 2-2's fouled off. Great crowd. Big Saturday night crowd. I'm sure when they announce attendance, they're going to call this a sellout. It'll be their 22nd sellout of the year.
They'll also go over the 2 million mark. Second quickest they've done that. The other time was their inaugural season in 2001. It's the only time they've gone over 2 million faster.
3-2. How about the Pirates? They've won 9 of their last 10 home Saturday games. Clint Hurdle and his club, big part of this turnaround here in Pittsburgh. Come to Pittsburgh and they went to 20 very difficult seasons, a lot of empty seats. Whole different deal now. A 1-out walk to Cervelli. Pedro Alvarez will come up. He hit a ground ball to first in the second inning. It's the first walk tonight by Russin. Alvarez takes a fastball high. 1-0 on the former Vanderbilt star. Pirates 17-5 over their last 22 outings. They did pick up a game on the Cardinals last night. The Cardinals lost, so the Pirates within 3.5 of the top spot in the NL Central. That's a strike.
5 up in the wild card. They played 26 of their final 35 games within the division.
But the interesting thing is they have not been good in the division. They're 21-29 in the division. They absolutely have annihilated the NL West. 20-4 against the NL West.
And they're 24-9 against the NL East.
But they have not played particularly well inside their own division. They'll need to turn that around in the final month if they want to capture a division title. This is on the ground to Paulson. Tag play at second. And that goes into center field. And the third base is Cervelli. There'll be 2 outs. Neil Walker coming up. And then the pitcher behind him. So the Rockies just pass on Walker. Let's take a look at that sequence again.
Right on the line. Ben does the right thing, comes off the bag and then steps on the bag. But then when he makes that throw, he really doesn't have a throwing lane to go to. Base runners, you're taught when you know that ball is being tagged behind you, you'll start to glide in towards the infield grass more. I think that's what Cervelli did. It would also be Ben's third error, allowing Francisco to move to third. They're taking a peek at his hand when that ball hit it. And I think I wouldn't even mess around with Walker, put him on to get to the pitcher.
Yeah, you're already down a couple runs. You're in the bottom of the 4th inning. So that's what Walt has decided to do. They'll put Walker on and deal with Jay Happ with 2 outs. You're mentioning the wild card. Pittsburgh has the first wild card spot right now. They're 5 clear of the Cubs, who have the second wild card spot. The Giants, who are having another nice year, 9.5 back of where the Pirates are. They're 4.5 back of the Cubs for that second and final wild card spot.
They're closer to the division lead.
Oh, much closer.
Yeah, they're 2.5 back behind the Dodgers, so they have to look at that rather than the wild card. The Giants are 10 games over 500, 69-59. Just put Matt Cain back on the DL, called up Chris Heston.
So here we go with Jay Happ, first and third. Happ hit a little ground ball to Ben Paulson his last time up. Pirates up 3-1, bottom of 4. 0-1's in there. It's 0-2.
Where some teams like to get tricky. 0-2 count on the pitch, you get a false break by the guy at first. Try to see if you can get halfway down, getting a run down. The guy, you got to be wary of all things now. The delayed steal with the left-handed hitter up.
You almost let him go. The count being what it is.
Yes. Lou Piniella liked to use that delayed steal with a left-handed hitter with 2 outs. That was one of his plays.
Or the early break, right? See if you
Yeah.
get the pitcher to balk. Everything becomes a math equation, right? So what are the odds that Happ gets a base hit behind in the count versus maybe the pitcher balking if you go early and send Neil Walker? 2-2. Now it's 3-2.
Now you don't do any of that. So some frustration from Chris. The ball came back.
And he didn't catch it.
Didn't catch it. Stabbed at him.
Here's the 3-2. Swung on and missed, and that will end the inning. So Happ goes down. 2 men are left on. And we'll go to the 5th inning with the Rockies down 3-1. Is brought to you by Ford Fusion. Power you on it. Good looks too. Ford, go further. By Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. With Jeff Houston and Mark Stout, Drew Goodman in Pittsburgh, PNC Park. On a pretty Saturday night, the Rockies trailing 3-1. Russell's going to lead things off here in the 5th inning, and then the top of the Rockies order. Hits are even at 4. Pirates sitting at 78-49. Their best record since the final day of the 1992 season when Jim Leland was the manager, and they were in the midst of capturing their 3rd straight division title in the NL East. They finished the year 96-66. Right now the Pirates are 29 games above 500.
That was the Barry Bonds,
Bobby Bonilla, Andy Van Slyke,
Jay Bell, Jose Lean.
Russin takes ball 1. Sharp single to center his first time up. It's funny how some pitchers, they're able to keep their ability to swing the bat at the big league level. And then there's a lot of guys who were tremendous hitters in high school, and they just lose it somewhere along the way, not swing the bat as much, certainly through the minor leagues. And they have no impact with the bat at the big league level. And again, then there's the Chris Russins, and the extreme positive would be a Madison Bumgarner.
Yeah, when you get into pro ball, even down in the minor leagues, you don't start hitting if you're a pitcher until you get to AA, because most of the leagues prior to that are all DH. And if you are on a National League club, the pitchers might hit once a week, maybe a couple times a month. So it's tough to keep that skill sharp.
Charlie Blackmon goes to the plate. He packs a lunch. Not going to swing at the first pitch very frequently. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That's helped his pitches per plate appearance go up. His on-base percentage. Everything you want to look for in a leadoff hitter.
That's a strike.
You can follow the Rockies with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live Rockies baseball. At bat is up to the minute with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, StatCasts, and more. Get MLB.com at bat now. Follow the Rockies on your phone.
And that's a little comebacker. Stabbed by half, 2 outs. And that'll bring up Jose Reyes. Jose has twice hit the ball in the air to right. This is in the air to shallow left. Harrison closing, makes the catch, and it's a 1-2-3 fifth inning for Jay Happ. 3-1 the Pirates out in front.
Pittsburgh Pirates up 3-1. There is one of the greatest Pirates of all time, Bill Mazeroski, signing autographs. One of 10 members of the 1960 World Series team in attendance tonight. That brings us to our Coors Light Cold Hard Fact. Let's take you back to Thursday, October the 13th of 1960. 9-9 game. Bottom 9. First batter, Bill Mazeroski. Second pitch he sees from Ralph Terry over the head of Yogi Berra. A game-winning walk-off homer in the World Series. And the one person I wanted to ask about that game was Renee Lashman, because Latch back then was a 10th grader in high school in Dorsey in California.
I was in school at the time, and going back there, I could, like I said, vividly remember of the things that happened at that time, and so it was something that I was a Yankee fan, because that's all we would get. We would get Saturday's game of the week, and it would always seem to be the Yankees on television all the time. So, but seeing the Pirates win and seeing Mazeroski hit it, and then actually going ahead and meeting them and find out what kind of class person it is was double rewarding for me.
He also met Bill Mazeroski in 1960 because he was the bat boy for the Dodgers at that time. The Dodgers were new to Southern Cal. We've told this story before. Latch was their bat boy, and he said everybody had a transistor radio. All the games were in the day. In fact, they didn't play night games until 1971 when the Pirates won the World Series again.
You know, it's interesting. Bill Mazeroski, again, who's in the ballpark tonight because they're honoring that 1960 World Championship team. Mazeroski, throughout his career, better known for his defense, one of the top defensive second basemen, certainly of his era, and maybe all time. An 8-time Gold Glove winner, 260 lifetime hitter. He had some pop. He had more than 100 home runs in his career. Never got heavy consideration for the Hall of Fame in the normal process. It was until the Veterans Committee put him in 2001, and he's a very humble guy. He was embarrassed by, you know, the attention that the home run received, in that he said, listen, it took 25 guys to win that World Series. The Yankees blew the Pirates out in the 3 games they won. The 3 games prior to Game 7 that the Pirates won were all very close encounters. Mickey Mantle, among others, were very upfront. You told the story, Huey, that they felt like they were the better team, even if this was prior to Game 7, even if something were to happen in Game 7. I guess they were pressured because something did happen. Bill Mazeroski happened.
Game 2, the Yankees beat Pittsburgh 16-3. Game 3, the Yankees won 10-0. Game 6, Yankees won 12-0.
And that's when Whitey Ford pitched.
Yes.
So they didn't have Whitey Ford for Game 7. One interesting footnote about that Game 7, there were 19 combined runs. There were no strikeouts, not a one for either team.
24 hits between the two teams.
It's a base hit for Josh Harrison, his second of the ball game. Andrew McCutchen coming up. Pirates then and now. I love when the past is embraced, and the Rockies certainly don't have the history that the Pirates do. They've been around for more than a century. But it's great, you know, the Rockies bring back players that have starred in the past. 20-year anniversary this year of Coors Field.
Pirates are 5-time world champs. But anytime you can bring the past to the present to show some of the guys and kids, I say now, you know, what their predecessors did in the history of the game and the legacy that some of these guys have left for the present day players.
Sure.
And then that whole, in turn, you hope that they leave something for the next generation.
Understand, appreciate the history of the game. Who came before you? McCutchen out front.
And when you're talking about less than 19,000 people to put on a major league uniform,
it's really remarkable.
It is, and that's where you have to appreciate the guys that have played before.
McCutchen's 2 for 2. 6 out of 7. For McCutchen with at least 2 hits. Said it last night. When all said and done, when you look at all the numbers for the 162-game regular season in 2015. McCutchen's going to be right in the thick of that MVP race again. You know, Harper's had an extraordinary year. He's cooled off some. At least in hitting the long ball.
Well, back in 2013, with Andrew McCutchen won the MVP award, he had 84 RBIs. He has 85 this year already. And the only two guys in the last 3 years to finish in the top 3 are these two phenomenal players.
Now, if you asked me 3-4 weeks ago, I'd say give the trophy right now to Mike Trout. Well, the Angels have scuffled. Trout's still having a great year. Huge jump. In fact, they pick off Harrison, and he is out at second base. That'll be a caught stealing. 1-3-6. Harrison's got that thumb protected with the mitt. To finish that thought on Mike Trout, Josh Donaldson, I think, is probably the leader right now with the way Toronto has played and what he's done individually.
I would agree. And now Ben had that throwing error last half inning where he hit the runner. This time, see how far he gets inside. He's in the grass to allow himself to make the throw to DJ, who's going in for the tag.
This is popped up down the right field line, and Paulson, wow, that's a terrific play by Ben Paulson. He's running the entire way with his back to home plate. Then he has to turn, find the stands, and find the baseball. Real good inning of defense there from Paulson. 3-1. Pirates in front.
Top of the 6th inning, Rockies trail 3-1. Carlos Gonzalez will be the first batter. And you can get your tickets now for the Fan Appreciation Fireworks, courtesy of Great Clips, on Friday, September 25th, after the Rockies take on the Dodgers. More fireworks for Fan Appreciation Night.
Well, it was in Cargo's third at bat last night that he took Francisco Liriano deep to right center field. Jay Happ has gotten Cargo on a ground ball to third, and a pop right back to the pitcher. That's first delivery's outside, ball 1. Cargo in line to play close to 150 games this year. And he lays down a bunt. Happ pretty quick to it, but he's not going to get Cargo. And it's something that Cargo's done successfully in the past, most notably last year, and not so much this year. But Walt encourages him to do it in situations like this. It's a very unselfish play because they're giving it to him, and you're down 2 runs. If the Rockies were down a run here, probably less of a good play. But right now, he can't tie the game up. There's nobody on base.
And then maybe next time you get the third baseman to move over, not to be in that hole. So it opens up another hole for you. But Cargo has tried it 2 or 3 different times this year, was not successful. Maybe this will get him back on track, saying, I can still bunt. I'm still a good bunter.
Absolutely. And Happ's a good fielder. He got to that very quickly. Really good athlete on the mound. And this is popped up to Polanco and right, and Arenado is gone. So Nolan, the first pitch 0 for 3 tonight. He's 0 for 14 on the trip.
Go back to that bunt with Happ, where he caught that. I just thought he'd put it in his pocket, walk back to the mound, not even make a throw to first base.
LeMahieu walked his last time, a strikeout his initial at bat. Cargo draws a throw. His 2 stolen bases came relatively early. I chatted with him about that today, and I said, do you think at some point in your career again you'll get back to running? And he said, you know, he may, but he wants to make sure that his knees are both 100% healthy, and that honestly is the wise decision. It's the one element of his game that you say, okay, we've seen him steal 20+ bases. It's nice to have that, but if you were to get hurt trying to swipe a base, you're losing that bat, and you can't have the bat out of the lineup because you were trying to swipe, you know, a bag. I don't think it's the trade-off you want. Now he's going to try to break up 2.
Where did that hit him? Stay on the bag.
Yeah, he's okay, I think. And he did wave the trainer off. That was weird, man. That Neil Walker.
I mean, that wasn't even within 5 feet of second base.
Yeah, Neil Walker went to the bag. Goes, where's this
the
going?
ball?
That throw by Gung was way offline.
I thought it got him in the face at first glance.
This should be a double play.
It should be.
Wow.
He threw his arm up at the last moment. You can see it coming at him.
I think it hit him. He knocked it down.
Yeah.
I've never seen that. Have you?
No, I haven't.
Not by that kind of a margin.
I've seen it 2 or 3 feet on the inside of second base, but not 7 or 8. He's got an E6.
12th error on Jung-Ho Gung. See if the Rockies can take advantage. 1 out, 2 on for Ben Paulson. It's like Gung forgot where the bag was.
Where that was, that should have been a routine double play. I know you can't assume the double play. You'd figure 1 out. That's a ball that major leaguers should turn. But you caught a break, and now you bring the winning run to the plate. And I know it's still early, but you get a chance to tack on a run or 2. I mean, look how far out from second base that is.
The Cargo's going, what's going on?
Oh, that's what happened. He really dropped the elbow and got the arm down the angle of the arm too far low.
0-2 on Paulson. We were talking to a scout earlier about Ben Paulson, and he said, you know what this kid is? He's a performer. He rises to the occasion. We've seen him with so many big hits in the latter third of games. 10 home runs, 40 driven in. And there he goes again. And they're going to get an out there. I thought he was going to sneak that through. So Gung makes that play, but not the previous one.
I was going to say the same thing, because this one he has to dive for, and he's laying on his knees, and he's throwing underneath his left arm, and he puts it right on the money. And he has Cargo running in front of him, trying to shield and distract him. So he throws from his right knee on the money. If anyone he's going to throw away, it's going to be this one, not the first one that he did.
Right. And Clint Hurdle with Nick Huntley coming up is going to make a pitching change to Jay Happ. It's a nice round of applause from the crowd as he walks off with 2 outs in the 6th inning. Third, 2 outs. Nick Hundley coming up, and they have brought on Archimedes Caminero, who throws gasoline. Man, this guy throws aspirin up there.
Yeah, he averages 98, but will touch 101, 102. 57 appearances for this rookie. That leads all National League rookie in appearances.
And he has gone 12 straight without being scored upon, covering 16 innings. Last time he gave up a run was July 25th.
Doesn't walk many guys. In 59 and a third, just 21 walks.
Native of Santo Domingo. Big dude, 6'4", 255 pounds. And Nick Hundley, who had a base hit his last time up, 1 for 2. Rockies have Cargo at third, Ben Paulson at first with 2 outs. And a slow roller to Ramirez. And with 1 pitch, Caminero gets out of it. So the Rockies lead 2 on in the 6th. It's 1-5-1 for the Rockies as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Drew Goodman, Jeff Houston, and Mark Stout. Aramis Ramirez will be first up against Chris Russin. The day after every Rockies victory, a reminder to get 50% off your online order at Papa John's. All you have to do is use the promo code ROCKSWIN when you go online at papajohns.com. So Aramis Ramirez coming up. He's the difference in this game. First inning, singles by Harrison and McCutchen, and then Ramirez followed with a 3-run home run to left. Since that time, Chris Russin has pretty much been in control.
He's just given up just 2 hits, had 2 walks last inning, but one of them was intentional to get to the pitcher. So that doesn't, that really doesn't count in my book. I know it does in the official stats. He's just setting up the matchup that he wanted.
Curveball that Ramirez swings over the top of. It's 0-1. One ball, one strike on Ramirez. Just talking about Caminero being from Santo Domingo. That's where Aramis is from as well.
Capital of the DR.
That's outside. 3-1. The newest Rocky. Jason Gurka's now up, throwing on the left side. That's fouled off. 3-2. Talking earlier about third baseman, all-time home run list for third baseman. Ramirez is now 5th. Mike Schmidt's number 1. Eddie Matthews, Hall of Famer, number 2. Future Hall of Famer Chipper Jones is number 3. Adrian Beltre, who I've said many times I believe ought to be in the Hall of Fame when his career ends at some point, is number 4, and then Aramis Ramirez.
.509 home runs for Michael Jack Schmidt.
As a third baseman.
Yes, yes.
Chris Russin's calling for it. Paulson's going to get down the line and say, whoa, you're not allowed.
We might have seen it first, though. If two pitchers catch a pop-up.
I don't know if I've ever seen that in the same game.
We'd have to call Elias and say, hey, can you check on that? When was the last time that happened?
We're a Little League field. You know, watch a bunch of 9-year-olds play, and the pitcher will make more plays than anybody. Jung Ho Gung 0 for 2, a strikeout and a soft liner to short. He's a native of South Korea. And that pitch outside, ball 1. Two balls, no strikes. Changeup misses. 3-0. There's a strike. In the Korean Professional League, he was primarily, almost exclusively, in fact, a shortstop. He hits it to Reyes at shortstop, and he's out, 2 outs.
State of Pennsylvania. Texas on a walk-off. Japan, who had beat Mexico earlier in the day for the international title.
Cool stuff.
Growing up, everybody wanted to get to Williamsport.
Yeah.
That's back when that's pretty much all you had, though. You just had Little League.
Yeah, and Little League is a wonderful thing, but so many kids now play. Our kids have done. They play USSSA, Triple Crown baseball with basically big league rules from the time they're 8 years old on up, where you can lead. And in Little League,
more traditional form of baseball.
right? In Little League, you know, you can't lead. But listen, as long as kids are playing, I don't care what they're playing.
That's
awesome.
right. That's right. And then play in front of the big crowds, 10, 12,000 people.
It's amazing how they perform in front of those huge crowds and how resilient they are. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Cervelli with 2 outs and nobody on. 2-2. Russin, after that 3-run home run in the first, really battled back and pitched a nice ball game. His next delivery will be his 108th, so I'm sure this will be all for Chris. Cargo won't have room.
Most times you'd say, well, he's also due up second next inning, but with Chris, you never know. But he's gotten you so deep into the game that you can't go to your bench. You don't need to worry about having to pinch hit with just 4 position players.
This came up in an article recently, and Bruce Bochy's thought about it. He has used Bumgarner, you know, to pinch hit. What if you're a position player on the Giants, and I think he's done this already this year, and he pinch hits Bumgarner in front of you? How does that play?
It would make you a little, let me see, angry.
That misses, ball 4. See if Walt allows him to go left on left with Alvarez. I think he would, even though it's pretty deep. Keep in mind, you know, 4 of those pitches. It's like anytime you hit 100 pitches now, alarm bells go off. But Steve Foster's just going to go out and ask how he's doing.
Well, he's just telling you what he's going to tell him is empty the tank. This is your last hitter. It'd be a tough spot to bring Gurka in his first major league appearance. You'd like to make it in a different spot. But you're in the big league, so maybe say, whenever it happens, then it's going to be your time. I give Chris his last batter. He's got Alvarez on an easy 3-1 and another easy 3 unassisted.
Bottom of the 6th inning. Cervelli at first with 2 outs. 3 on the right side for power hitting Pedro Alvarez. Won a home run title a couple of years ago in the National League.
Soria still throwing in the Pirates bullpen.
The question will be, and hopefully we don't get an answer tonight because the Rockies put a bunch of runs on the board, but if the Pirates get to the 9th inning in a close game, is it Melanson who goes out? Back-to-back ball games he's appeared in.
Be a decision made in the next inning when they call down there. Say, how do you feel?
Swung on and missed. And it's 1-2.
Pirates in a stretch of 20 straight. They get an off day on Monday, and then they go back out on the road to Milwaukee. They had a late Sunday night game. They got into Miami about 4 in the morning. Played 4 games there, and they got in at 2:30.
Not going to get any sympathy from the Rockies because beginning last night, the Rockies are playing 21 games in 20 days because they have that doubleheader next week. This ball's well hit center field. Going back is Blackmon, and he reaches up and makes the grab. So Russin gets Alvarez on the deep drive. We'll go to the 7th. It remains 3-1. Chris Russin, good night's work. 3-1. Aramis Ramirez in the first inning tagged the 3-run home run off Chris Russin. Russin after that was very good. Brandon Barnes led the third off with a double, would eventually score on an RBI ground out by Charlie Blackmon. That's it for the Rockies. And now they'll try to get after the very impressive bullpen of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Brandon Barnes would lead it off in the 7th, and Archimedes Caminero stays in the ball game. He got the final out of the 6th inning. One pitch, he got Nick Hundley to hit a ground ball to Ramirez. Barnes with McBride on deck. Rockies do have one left-handed bat, and that's Descalso. Typically, Walt likes to keep him around for later in the ball game. Also backs up a number of positions defensively. Sean Rodriguez has come in at first base for Alvarez.
No surprise there. Pittsburgh is the leader in late inning defensive replacements. Clint Hurdle will substitute out his offensive guys for his defense when they has a lead from the 7th inning on.
This ball's in the air to left field. Harrison has got it, 1 out. So Matt McBride will pinch hit.
That hasn't been up very long, but getting a lot of chances. 2 for 9 pinch hitting.
Matt from the eastern town of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, steps in western PA against Caminero with 1 out. Fastball at 96. He checked his swing. 1-0.
I wonder where the dividing line of Pennsylvania is, where you're on one side, on the eastern side, where you're the Phillies and the Eagles fan, and on the west side, Pittsburgh and Steeler fan. Where's that dividing line?
I don't know. That's a great question. Is it like Shippensburg? According to we have a Philly native in
also,
our truck producing tonight, Allison Vigil.
Yeah, and she went to school about an hour away from here.
And she's a diehard Eagles fan. This is right back to Caminero. 2 outs. Charlie Blackmon coming up. Who Wants Tacos fans follow at @RootsSports_R on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies taco special when the Rockies score 7 or more runs. Charlie's 0 for 3. The Rockies had 5 hits last night. They have 5 hits tonight. Zipped at 99 on the outside corner. That was easy, man. There was no grunt behind that.
No, but the big guys you talked about, but watch his leg where it really flies behind it. Drives off the mound. Powerful lower half.
He was signed originally by the Marlins back in 2005. He's 28. With the Marlins the last couple of years, gotten a total of 19 games with the Marlins. Comes to Pittsburgh, and he's been terrific. 62 strikeouts coming in at 59 1/3.
You should rack up some strikeouts if you're throwing 98, 99 miles an hour.
You're supposed to, right?
And that's what you do.
Charlie stayed off that at 99. Spent the better part of 10 years trying to get here. And Blackman fouls this one off.
I guarantee it. He didn't get here because he wasn't throwing enough strikes.
I'm looking at his minor league numbers. And at times he's battled some command issues, but less so the last couple of years.
And that's why he's now in the big leagues.
And he gets a strikeout of Blackman as he goes off speed. Nope, there's foul ball. Hold on, hold on. See, Charlie got a piece of that.
And Chris Ciccione made the call down at third base. Slider. Tough to tell.
Well, first of all, Cervelli's trying to sell
it as it was.
That hit the dirt.
And if anybody's going to argue, it's going to be Cervelli.
Yeah.
Just saying it, just because it happened to them earlier this year, and I'm drawing a blank on who it did, but the same thing where the guy swung, umpire called it a foul ball. It wasn't clearly. Then the next pitch he hit it out, and that's when Cervelli got thrown out.
Two. Well, Chris Ciccione put together some umpiring tips for us in the offseason, and here is Chris on the foul tip.
Foul tip, you have to hear it hit the bat, and the catcher catches it. So that would be a foul tip. And as a home plate umpire, you can't, not always, but for the most part, you can't see it hit the dirt. You have a lot of things in front of you, and the speed of it, you just can't see it.
And that's why the home plate umpire, Corey Blazer, needed help, and he got it from Chris Ciccione, coincidentally, who's at third base.
And the guy I was thinking of earlier, Mark Reynolds with St. Louis. That's who hit the home run after they called it a foul ball.
This is, in fact, a strikeout of Charlie Blackman. So it's a 1-2-3 inning from Caminero. He works an inning and a third. Stretch time in Pittsburgh. It remains 3-1 Pirates.
league debut. That is Jason Gurka. Just came up for the Rockies as he comes into a game with the Pirates lead 3-1 bottom 7. It was Glenn Allen Hill, his manager at Albuquerque with the Isotopes, that gave him the good news.
He called me in his office and set me down, kind of started talking like normal, and then was like, hey, by the way, what do you work for? And I was like, get to the big leagues. And he's like, well, you're going to the big leagues. And I was like, oh, man. So that's how that happened.
Sure, Jeff Gurka was drafted by the Orioles in the 15th round out of Angelina College in Texas in 2008, down the road from here in Bluefield, West Virginia. He made his debut in rookie ball. He pitched a clean inning, then in the next game gave up a home run, came out for another inning and felt his left arm had a problem. They told him it was tendonitis. Didn't pitch the next year because he had a torn labrum. So it has been a labor of love for this guy to get to the bigs.
Boy, you'd love to see all that hard work, dedication, patience pay off. And here he is in his first big league pitch, fouled off by Neil Walker.
Dreams do come true. You dream about it as a kid, and you go through the Tommy John. Is it gonna happen? And now he's realizing that dream.
Back up the middle, and that's a base hit. Neil Walker with a solid single to center.
You also remember who you gave up your first hit to. Marte will run for Neil Walker.
That's a little weird.
Unless they bring Josh Harrison in from the outfield, put Marte in left field.
Yeah, I would think they would do that. But I think if Walker's a guy that's a former wideout in high school. I know that was a while ago, but they usually run for middle infielders. Anyhow, Marte's running, and Michael Morse is pinch hitting. And that's looped to right field for a base hit. Marte is going to go first to third, despite a great throw from Cardinals.
Last night walked in the pinch hit appearance. Tonight he just bloops one into right field. Marte motors around to third. Just whatever Clint's doing now is just working out. Last night it was Josh Harrison came up with the big pinch hit, puts Marte in the pinch run. He goes first to third.
Well, when you get on a roll, you push all the right buttons, it seems like. No matter what you do, it bears dividends. Gregory Polanco. But such an extraordinary game last night. It was actually an historic game. Clint said it could be, when he looks back, maybe the greatest game of his career. It was that good. Now he filled up the stat sheet. It was like a basketball player going out and getting a quadruple double. Last night he had 3 hits, scored 2 runs, had an RBI, stole a base, and 2 outfield assists, including throwing a guy out at the plate. The last outfielder to do it was Bob Musial. When you ask, 1924.
That's why it's a game for the ages for this young player.
1-0 on Polanco. It's got to be a little bit more in the comfort zone for Jason Gurka, facing a left-handed bat. Problem is, 2 righties began. Walker's a switch hitter, and then after Polanco, you have Harrison and McCutchen and Ramirez potentially, all right-handed bats. (1-1) and the fastball at 93's fouled off. his fastball rolled to second. The Rockies are going to get just one, and it'll score a run. So Polanco on a slow roller to second drives in the fourth Pirate run. 4-1, his 41st RBI. Marte scores it.
Well, obviously not hit hard enough for DJ and Jose to turn it. Won't go to the pin to bring in the right-hander. Gonzalez Germain.
So there's one out. 4-1. Pittsburgh runner at first when we come back. Fan photo brought to you by T-Mobile. There's Finney. Making friends wherever he goes. All right, here we are, 4-1. The Pirates with one out in the bottom of the seventh leading. And Gonzalez Germain will take over to face Josh Harrison.
When Gonzalez has been on, it's been with the changeup. He's gotten swings and misses with that pitch. A few times he's fallen behind. Just like any pitcher out on the hill, a young pitcher is going to get hurt. You got to be wary of Polanco at first. 22 steals.
He's been caught 10 times. Harrison 2 hits tonight, 3 at bats. Chris Russin went 6 innings, allowed 3 runs. The 3-run home run in the first by Ramirez. 5 hits and all 3 walks. 1 intentionally, struck out 3.
113 pitches, season high for Chris.
I don't think of a Rockies throwing more than that all year.
Maybe Jorge.
De La Rosa going tomorrow. Two-strike count on Harrison. Josh is a product of the University of Cincinnati. Pretty solid baseball program there. And a first-round pick this year. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and it's fouled off.
CU AD Mike Bone is at Cincinnati.
Yeah, Mike's at University of Cincinnati now. We had a tour of that campus a year ago when we were in town playing the Reds. Impressive new football stadium they just renovated. Nice baseball stadium right in the middle of campus. This is topped foul. If you're a left-handed batter, you hit the ball out, you're going to hit a building behind the right field wall.
You got to squeeze the field in where you can.
And that's what they've done. Got a big statue of Oscar Robertson in the middle of campus as well. Where Sandy Koufax went to school.
That's right.
0-2 on Harrison, and that's on the ground to DJ. Just does get it to Reyes to get the force.
They knew that the base runner and Polanco had to hold up. It couldn't cut in front, so DJ knew he had an extra step to get the lead runner.
That'll bring up Andrew McCutchen. And McCutchen takes inside. Pirates with 5 straight 20 home run seasons. The late Ralph Kiner, he's in the Hall of Fame. Frank Thomas, Willie Stargell, Jason Bay, and Andrew McCutchen.
Forget about all the home runs that Jason Bay put up. Where did he go after that? The Mets? Signed a big deal with the Mets.
He signed, well, he was with Boston for a little bit and then signed with the Mets. It's a high fly ball to Cargo and right. That'll end the inning, but the Pirates scratch out another run on a couple of singles to begin the inning by Walker and the pinch hitter Michael Morse. It's 4-1 as we go to the 8th. Leading. Somebody stole our boat, Huey.
You were supposed to anchor it down. I left you in charge of that.
Yeah, messed up. And there's like, it's not just one person, like 38 people stole our boat. Not right. Let's check in with Mark Stott. Mark?
Yeah, guys, a couple of numbers on Jose Reyes, who's going to lead off here in the 8th inning. He enjoys hitting against the Pirates, period. I want to show you some numbers. This goes back to 2008, and his average is 2nd overall on that list against the Pirates, and he loves PNC. In terms of active players, he came into today with a .359 average at this park. He had a couple of hits last night, including a homer. Second only Albert Pujols, who was hitting like .375. Quick quiz. He's one of 3 active, 3 players.
Oh, I thought it was multiple choice.
One of 3 active players with 100 triples and 100 homers. Active players. Can you name the other 2?
100
triples, 100 homers.
Oh. Let me think about this.
Ichiro?
No.
It's a good guess. I like that guess. Hold on, don't give us the answer. Let's just wait here for a second. Tony Watson's in the ball game. Jose Reyes is at the plate, as Mark was describing. 0 for 3 tonight. Tony Watson's become the 8th inning man for the Bucks. ERA at just 2.10. That's inside.
The winner of last night's affair was Tony Watson, 3-1 on the season. Now, as we predicted, they moved Josh Harrison to second base. Put Starling Marte in left field.
Reyes takes a strike.
The numbers on Tony Watson, 62 ball games. But he's thrown 60 innings, so he is a 1-inning guy. He's not just a left-handed specialist, and he doesn't want to be one of those guys.
Hey, Mark, you with us still?
Yes, I'm here. You want a hint?
Jimmy Rollins.
Yeah, that's one of Michiro, by the way, 91 triples. He's almost there.
Oh.
Yeah. Does have 113 homers.
You knew he had the homer.
This ball driven to left field pretty deep. Marte goes back and makes the catch.
Yeah, Rollins is one.
There's one other, right?
Yeah. It's a teammate of his.
Was it Utley?
No. It's a good guess, but.
Oh, you know who it is? Carl Crawford.
That's right.
Carl Crawford has the most triples of any active player.
Right, right. We've seen that guy play. It's crazy when you watch him play, the talent he has. I mean, I know you guys have said that
for
before.
the Dodgers, they haven't been able to watch him play all that much.
It's been hurt so much. But.
Yeah, that's a good little trivia question. What have I won?
You know that boat that was leaving?
Boat.
Cargo fouls it back. Yeah, that was my prize. Huh?
Yeah, they took off already, though.
Cargo tonight, a bunt single, 1 for 3. Cargo hold up. Yep. 1-1.
Drew, you better hurry up.
Oh, see, is that a police boat next to him? They're pulling him over, and saying that's Goodman's boat.
Good boat. Make sure you wait.
Cargo with a big bouncer. And out recorded at first.
6-3.
Young makes the play. 2 outs. That'll bring up Nolan. A couple of fly balls to right field to pop the second tonight for Arenado. Hitless so far on the road trip, 0 for 14. Last night the Rockies were in a 3-3 game. In the 8th inning, Scott Oberg walked the first 2 guys in the 8th, and they would come around to score. That was the difference. Tonight it's a 3-run home run in the first by Aramis Ramirez, a bonus run in the bottom of the 7th manufactured against Jason Gurka in his major league debut, and that's why it's 4-1 Pittsburgh. 1-1. This ball's driven to deep left field, and Marte's going to watch it go off the wall. And the throw to second is going to hold Arenado to a single. Now, you understand it in right field. What a play by Marte. That ball hit off a wall that's a lot further away. These two corner outfielders have been impressive for the Pirates defensively.
Not only do they have above average arm strength, their accuracy is uncanny. He plays that, catches it with one swift motion on his bare hand and gets it back in. And Nolan starts to take off for second, down by 3 runs. Thinks better of it.
So LeMahieu at the plate. DJ a strikeout, a walk, and he reached on an error by Gong at short.
The Pirates have 30 outfield assists. I mean, that's a ton. That's number 1. But that wasn't an assist, but it might as well have been to keep the guy at first base.
Huge. Very athletic team. Versatile team.
Need that in the National League. Guys that play different positions.
Has a true number 1 in Garrett Cole. Strong bullpen. A lot of depth for Clint. And Clint's a creative guy, and he sure is really, we know for a fact, we've talked to him about it, really enjoying being able to make the chess moves that we've witnessed the last couple of nights late in ball games.
And trying to figure out enough at bats for Gong, for Harrison, for Jordy Mercer, for Aramis Ramirez. All these guys want to play, but there's not enough spots in the lineup.
And nobody's going to complain when you're almost 30 games over 500. Unless you want to.
A permanent seat.
Right. Unless you want to get on the bad teammate list. Broke a record tonight. That's his 2 million piece of bubble gum he's chewed in his big league career.
Well, we chew on that for a minute. Brewfest returns Saturday,
nice.
September 5th. Purchase the Brewfest ticket package to enjoy beers from 16 regional breweries and vote for your favorite brewery to win tap space for April 2016.
A lot of people got to know Clint and his family back in the Rocky Mountain region, and Maddie's now a 7th grader. She's doing great. Christian, a 5th grader. He's doing super well, and Carla's running the show as always. And DJ fouls that pitch off. So Arenado will come back to first. Be off again on the next delivery. 3-2 with 2 outs. 8th inning, the Rockies trailing 4-1. Trying to snap a 6-game losing streak here at PNC Park. That's out of play.
There's a battle going on here between DJ and Tony. Watson, he's a fastball changeup. Primarily sliders his 3rd pitch, asking for a fastball inside.
And this ball's lined to left, but it's right at Marte. That'll end the inning. Arenado reached on the long single off the wall. He's left the board. Middle of 8, 4-1 Pirates. Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Mike Shaw Subaru. Always our lowest price and sales and service guarantee. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. At PNC Park in Pittsburgh, the Pirates leading on Saturday night 4-1. They have been dominant at home all year. Their 45-20 record at home, second best in the game to St. Louis. Aramis Ramirez will lead it off in the bottom of the 8th inning. 1 for 3 in the ball game. It was a big one, though. Gonzalez Germain continues on, and his first pitch is inside ball 1. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game provided by Ramirez in the first against Chris Russin. 2 aboard, and he got a cutter, and he lost it to left field. Second home run since returning to the Pirates. Another changeup and a good one.
So just went back and looked at box scores from previous games. 113 pitches by Chris Russin is a season high for a Rockies pitcher. Jorge threw 110, and that has been his high.
Ramirez's first home run as a Pirate at PNC since 2003. Fastball on the outside corner. So the 113 is the high. What was the next highest?
110. Jorge.
Okay. Pitch fouled off.
The guy had a chance to make a play in the front row. Went off his hand and dropped down to the lower seats.
Way outside. And he got him to chase. 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. And that'll bring up Jung Ho Gung. That's a foul ball.
That was late.
Well, what am I going to do? I already wrote strikeout down in my book.
Well, you're going to have to wait and see what happened.
very similar to the one called with Charlie Blackmon at the plate an inning ago.
Ramos immediately pointed to the ground, saying, "I fouled it off."
That he definitely fouled off.
Lanson is getting loose.
Well, last night he was pretty quick. The 1-2-3 ninth inning.
10 pitches.
This is in play. Arenado comes and gets it. Throws out his third base counterpart. 1 out.
So you strike out, you just mark out the strikeout and put 5-3.
That's what I've done. It's not as neat. Jung Ho Gung 0 for 3 tonight. 2 hits last night. A strikeout, a line out, and a ground ball to short for Gung.
We're reading about this young man in spring training and what was happening, and there was a columnist here in Pittsburgh said the only reason he'd make the team is because of how much money they had invested in him.
He's eating those words now.
Yes, he is.
This guy's been in the middle of a lot of the success for the Pirates this year. Pirates have won 3 straight. It's a ground ball to short. Reyes has got it.
I'm on the tag at first.
That'll bring up Cervelli. Here's our song.
I still never figured out the movie you were talking about with Barbra Streisand. I tried to.
No, it was with Cher.
Oh, with Cher. Maybe that's why I couldn't find it.
Oh, man. You're looking up her and Redford and The Way We Were.
I came up with all these other ones, but I was like, no, I can't find it.
That's inside. Yeah, from Moonstruck. I've just looked up all the tracks from Moonstruck, and number 1 is That's Amore.
It's so much
Jack
easier
Brooks and Harry Warren.
when you have the right people in the movie.
I said Cher. Remember, I said Gypsy Tramps and Thieves.
I wasn't.
That's down low, 2-0.
Mike Fox, our director, nailed that one. He got Moonstruck.
Mike knows all things music. Tell you, his backup vocals and some obscure grunge band in Seattle in the 90s.
They don't play at Cheyenne Frontier Days. I'm probably not going to know who it is.
No, probably not. Can't get him on Sirius 56. You're done.
I'm out.
3-0. Whoa, way inside.
That's a third walk tonight for Cervelli. And Sean Rodriguez.
Please, Drew, don't start singing I Got You Big.
David, you're right.
No, you know, David, don't worry. I will not sing that. Maybe a little Glenn Campbell, though.
No.
Like the Rhinestone
No.
Cowboy. Sean Rodriguez first at bat. 0-1 on Rodriguez. Came in defensively at first base, as he did last night. Do you see that little stat? Rodriguez has played in 110 games, but he has only 194 at bats because he has come in primarily as a defensive specialist late in games.
You know, some guys will have plate appearances in their contract. I'm sure he would like to say, I want games played in my contract.
He fights that one off and has a base hit to right. Cervelli the second, and that'll bring up Starling Marte. It'll be Marte's first at bat. Came in as a pinch runner for Walker. Occasionally battles some back spasms. Don't know if he came out because of that or just out of strategy.
Just an inside-out swing from Sean Rodriguez.
Swung on and missed, 0-1. Pirates since May the 9th, 65-33, which is the best mark in Major League Baseball. Remember last year they got off to a miserable start, covered to win 88 games. I think last year, if memory serves me correctly, at one point they were 11-20.
And the first 40 games this year weren't good. It goes back to, if you've been there before, you know how to act. You know not to panic. It's early in the season, but you have to turn it around, and then they did. Now they're on one of those streaks.
Well, in 09, when the Rockies would win 92 games from June 1st on, they had the best record in baseball under Jim Tracy, and they were, what, 8 games under 500 when Clint was relieved of his duties that year after a long run. Clint took the Rockies to the World Series in 07. Everybody wants to panic unless you're in the game. People in the game, like yourself, Jeff, realize just how long the season is. And I think back to the Houston Astros, the year they went to the World Series. That year they were 15-30 after 45 games. You know, people are burying. They're 15 games under 500, 45 in.
Never recover from that.
Nope, they recovered.
That's why the season's 162 games long, and it is a marathon. There's some teams that get out of the gate like the Tigers did that one year.
35-5 in 1984.
Just keep going.
And they kept rolling because they were world champs. But, you know, Seattle, which it seemed like Seattle went unbeaten, what, in 02? When they won 116 games?
Yes. And they didn't make it out of the first round.
No. Two balls, two strikes on Starling Marte with 2 outs, 2 on. And that's down low at 95, 3-2. So the runners will be off. Cervelli at second, Rodriguez at first. The Rockies in the 9th will have Ben Paulson, Nick Hundley, and Brandon Barnes. Trying to produce a significant rally. It's getting annoying, all right? Let's get the ball in play, Starling. Let's go.
Let's go ahead and hit a nice two-hopper somewhere.
Hit a two-hopper to Reyes.
Eighth pitch of this at bat.
Sharply hit right to Reyes. Told you. And inning over.
Nice call.
Yep. Thank you for complying, Starling Marte. So we'll go to the ninth inning. The Rockies down by 3. Ninth inning against the saves leader in Major League Baseball, Mark Melancon. He got his 42nd save last night in a 1-2-3 ninth inning.
For Mark Melancon last night, just had a ground ball out to first by Cargo, fly ball to right by Hundley, and then to cap it off, Matt McBride deep drive to center field that was hauled in by Andrew McCutchen for his 42nd save. 42 of 44. Some more changes now.
Every inning, it's they're like line shifts in hockey. Jordy Mercer is now in at short, and Gung goes to third. Ramirez comes out. So the entire infield is different. It started out Alvarez, Walker, Gung, and Ramirez, and now it's Sean Rodriguez, Josh Harrison, Jordy Mercer, and Gung's at third.
And you have a new left fielder, so only 2 guys that have started, 3 guys, McCutchen, Polanco, and Cervelli.
Yeah, you get to play the same spot for 9 innings.
You get to stay there. Mark Melancon, 42 of 44, now the Major League leader in saves with those 42. 4th all-time in club history.
So the Rockies need to create some traffic. Down by 3. Ben Paulson single in the second. He struck out in the 4th, reached on a fielder's choice in the 6th inning. High ball 1. And that's ball 2. Third straight night. Melancon's working, and this ball's fouled off. Got some more good news from the minor leagues, Huey. Jeff Hoffman threw tonight for the New Britain Rockcats. They won 2-1 at home over Portland. And Jeff Hoffman went 6 innings, allowed 1 unearned run on 1 hit. That's roped, and it's a base hit. So a good start to the 9th inning as Paulson delivers a single. More on Hoffman's performance in a moment, but we have to tell you about the pitchers tomorrow. Our CenturyLink link to what's next. Jorge De La Rosa will have the ball tomorrow, and it'll be opposed by the right-hander Charlie Morton, who's an 8-game winner so far this year. We're on the air with the pregame show at 11 in the Mountain Time Zone.
Should see some ground ball action tomorrow with those two on the hill.
Yep. So nobody out. Nick Hundley coming up. Nick saw Melanson last night and hit a fly ball to right.
Well, that is good news about Hoffman. It'll be fun to talk to Justin Morneau when he comes back, as he played in that game, to get his scouting report.
Yep, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks in 6 innings, a .293 ERA for Hoffman. And in those 6 innings, he threw only 78 pitches. Real low number. And if you wonder why he came out, the Rockies, he's coming off Tommy John. Rockies are really monitoring his pitch count. 78 in 6 innings. That sets you up to shake hands at the end of the night if you're going a full slate of pitches. I'm sure he'll be at that point next year. 2-0 on Nick.
Second batter in a row for Melanson, who's fallen behind 2-0. Did it to start the inning to Ben, and now to Nick.
And again, Morneau got 3 at bats in that ball game, and Justin did hit a home run. 1 for 3. On the corner.
Boy, that
barely. 2-1.
Nick walked across the plate like a Pete Rose would have done, eyeballing that pitch.
This ball's hit a long way to left. Stay fair, and it's gone. 2-run home run, Nick Hundley. How do you like that? Rockies within a run. For Hundley, his 10th of the year. It's now 4-3 with nobody out. Boy, he got the barrel out and drove that into the night.
I was watching the left fielder, Marte. He took 2 or 3 courtesy steps. That's all they were. This did not make the pitcher feel so bad that this ball was hit so far. There's Marte, and then he just stops and glances. Hey, how about this now?
It's a whole different deal. Now it's like you're starting the inning down by a run. Figure out a way to get 1 run. Nobody out. Barnes at the plate. Brandon's been swinging it well. He doubled back in the 3rd and scored the Rockies' first run.
Now you wonder if all the work last 3 days, is he fresh? I'm talking about Melanson.
Barnes takes a strike. It's 1-1. Daniel Descalso's come out in the on-deck circle. After Daniel, Charlie Blackmon. Curveball up high.
He's already thrown more pitches tonight than he did last night. He has 11 pitches, just 5 strikes. Last night's 10 pitches, 6 strikes.
That ball down the line, fair ball. Barnes will stop at first, and the tying run is aboard. Single, 2-run home run, single for Brandon Barnes, and Descalso coming up.
Both hits for Brandon to right field. This was a cutter off the end of the bat. broke his bat. But the Pirates were playing in a different alignment than you would think with a one-run lead. Most of the time you're playing closer to the line. But they were way off at first base, and he shot it down the line.
So Descalso does have some pop if you're thinking long ball. Daniel at the plate, Blackman on deck.
He does have one pinch hit home run.
One more note from the minor leagues. It's good news. Jesus Tinoco, another one of those pitchers that came in the Tulowitzki deal. 7 shutout innings for Asheville tonight as they beat Charleston. Just 4 hits, just 1 walk. He has an 0.77 ERA since the Rockies acquired him.
Those two guys along, I mean, you look at them. Yeah, they're still down in Asheville there, Double-A, but I like the numbers they're putting up. They're just,
you got to perform.
You have to.
Whatever uniform you're putting on, yeah, whatever level. Those 2 young men have been impressive, and Miguel Castro working out of the bullpen has. This is lobbed to Harrison. He's going to backpedal, and Barnes gets back. Caught off the bat for a moment that had a chance to drop. So that's the first out of the inning.
So did Brandon. That's why he was as far off at first as he was.
He was going with the pitch.
Taking off.
Boy, that's a great recovery by Barnes to find the baseball. Eric Young almost couldn't look. See, why he turned his back. He's jumping around. He said, oh, this isn't going to end well. But Barnes, he got back, and here comes Charlie Blackman, 0 for 4 tonight. So he drove in the Rockies' initial run in the 3rd with a ground ball. It was 4-1 a moment ago, and then Hundley hit a 2-run home run. Strike 1 on Blackman. Outfielders are backed up to prevent potentially Barnes from scoring on a ball in the gap. Charlie with that's going to be a double play. In fact, Harrison's going to run it over. That'll end the ball game. The Rockies made it interesting in the 9th. The 2-run home run from Hundley, but they'll fall a run short. They lose 4-3 tonight. Jay Happ gets the victory. He's 3-1 in a Pirates uniform. Chris Russin takes the loss. Chris is now 4-7, and Melanson has his 43rd save. Again, the final score, the Pirates win it 4-3. The Pirates are now 30 games above 500. They've won 7 straight at PNC Park against the Rockies. The Rockies fall to 51-76. We take you out west to our Root Sports studios. Here's Jenny and Spilly.
Oh, Mark. Yes, sir.